Where do I even start? Where do I even start? And I'm not even going to talk about the Newcastle game because we know it's a game that we should be winning on paper. Football's not played on paper. But me analysing the Newcastle game in isolation somewhat deflects from the real issue. The real issue about where Manchester United are as a club. And it's sad for a fan. I'm sure it's glorious for the rival fans out there, but it's real sad. We're a mess. We're an absolute mess. Of a club, of a team. Absolute mess. The reality is, some of you lot called for this. This is what you lot asked for. Just over 12 months ago. Or just under 12 months ago even. Jose Mourinho was sacked. And everyone, bar some, a few, was Jose out, Jose out, Jose out. And I made a very important point that I think is coming a bit to fruition now, is that I'm not Jose out. Because I know that Jose being sacked is not the answer to our problems. Jose was sacked, went on a winning run, everything looked rosy. The majority, however, including myself, said, and the question was always posed, should Solskjaer get the job? Should Solskjaer get the job? And I said, why do we have to make a decision now? Let's wait till the end of the season, see where we're at, and make a decision then. What is the rush? It's not like there's a host of clubs waiting for his signature. And we have to sign the thing right now. We have to get him on the books. Solskjaer wasn't going anywhere. Solskjaer wanted this job. It's his dream job. A Man United legend. What's the rush? Well, we know that Ed Woodward is incompetent. So he makes incompetent decisions. Decisions that stink of desperation. And it seems like a man who acts on impulse for these key footballing decisions. And he acted on impulse. He was riding the wave, like all the Man United fans were riding the wave. And gave Solskjaer the managerial job. Just before, actually, I think we had lost the game. Either to Wolves or Watford, I can't actually remember. But it was like one loss in the 15 games or something like that. Knocked out PSG, etc, etc. And after that, we had an international break. He got the job during the international break on the back of a loss. And we went on a bad run after that. Didn't make it into the top 4, finished 6th in the end. At that point, if that had happened and he was an interim manager, you say, well, thanks. You did what you could, you know. Gave us a bit of joy at the start stage of the season. You know, thanks for the work. But now we're going to go out and get the target that we wanted and, you know, build the team in the vision of the manager and the, you know, the coaching staff and the, well, I say the director of football. We're supposed to have a director of football by then. He spoke about this even after Jose was gone. And we'll build a team from there. But we didn't. We had given Solskjaer the job a few months earlier. And in some ways, we were stuck with him. I mean, we knew that our squad was bad. So we didn't pin all the blame on Solskjaer as to why we couldn't sustain that level of performance that we had over the first 14 games. We've had a summer, we looked good in pre-season, we had a few signings, but we knew that the summer was poor in relation to what we needed. in isolation, it was a good summer. We got two quality defenders and a young talent in Daniel James who started the season pretty well. But for where we were, we needed much more. We didn't get it. And those areas where we knew we would struggle, we are struggling in creativity. That is the main issue. If you look on the outside, we're not creating enough chances and therefore not scoring enough goals. But the question is Solskjaer getting the best out of what he has? And you have to say no. I mean, that is undoubtedly, Manchester United do not have the 12th worst team, 12th worst squad in the league. Yet that's where we're sitting. I'm saying 12th. I'm just double it. Is it 12th we're sitting? Because I don't even know anymore. I don't even know anymore. Let me check that. Yeah, 12th. 12th place after 9 games. And if the reality is, if this continues for any semblance of time, let's say until the end of October or end of November, Solskjaer will be sacked. He will be sacked. But those of you who were so vociferous in your Mourinho out, and when he went, you were delighted. All your tweets and your Instagram and your YouTube and your Snapchat and everywhere you were delighted that this toxic, this failed manager, this, stale, out of his depth, past his best, the special once, the chosen once. You were delighted he was gone. Man United were going to get back to where they should be or were before because he was the problem. Well, he's gone. He's been gone for nearly a year, yet we're in a worse position than we were then. So you have to ask, was Jose the problem? Was Lukaku being as bad as he was he the problem? Was Herrera's, work rate enough? Was his inability to affect games in the final third? Was that the problem? Was Shaw's injury issues the problem? Was Martial's attitude the problem? Was Pogba's agent? Was Pogba's agent the problem? Was his aspirations? Was De Gea's issue? Like, we've pinned the problem down to individuals, moments, characters. Yep, here we are, in the same position. Is Solskjaer the answer? Based on his time at Man United, you have to say no. You have to say no. But then who is the answer? Who is the answer? What is the answer to get Man United out of this rut that we're in? I'm not talking about the 9 games. I'm talking about the 6 years. £900 million spent, and we've gone backwards and backwards and backwards. And again, I'm not saying Jose was the answer. He was an answer to a question. Solskjaer was an answer to a question. LVG the same. I don't think Moyes answered any questions. But here we are. We're still in the same position. So people are saying, we shouldn't have sold Lukaku. He's scoring goals in Italy. We all knew Lukaku would score goals in Italy. That's not any doubt. We know Lukaku's a goal scorer. He scores goals for Belgium. He even scored goals for us. That's the reality. He scored goals for us. But he missed a lot of chances. His link play was poor, etc., etc. We should have kept Lukaku. We should have kept Sanchez. We should have kept this player. Well, last season, we had those players. We were in 6th position. Remember, we were in 6th position when Jose was sacked. And we were calling for his head. And I say we, I'm saying Manchester United fans. I never did, as I stated. You can check all my videos. we were calling for his head because he was in sixth position. But now are we suggesting that 6 is good enough because we're in 12th? What is it that we want? Because if Solskjaer was 6th, or if another manager was 6th, would we still be calling for their head? Or would we see the real issues for what they are at the club? This squad is bad. It's the worst squad I've seen in my time as a Man United fan. 28 years I've been on this planet. I can say remember 21 years as a Man United fan properly. This is the worst squad I've seen. It's the worst football I've seen, which is no surprise because it's the worst squad. And it's also the most inexperienced manager and coaching staff we've had. When you add them all together, this is the result. This is the result. So we can blame Oli if we want, but a new manager will come in. If results stay as they are, and I don't see a turning point anywhere. I don't see success around the corner. I'm not seeing a progression or something to look at, say, we can just link X, Y, Z, then we're going to get the result there. And I'm not seeing that. It's just very, very poor. So we'll get a new manager in. That manager may get the best out of the squad for a period of time. Even in the short term. Let's say the end of the season gets us up to 6th, for example. And then what? Do we call for their head when they can't take us any further? Do we call for their head when we're challenging for Europa League again? And not back at the top where we want to be? Do we call for their head when we finish 19 points behind the Premier League winners because we're not playing the football that we did under, Sir Alex? Or do we look at the problem for what it truly is? The problem is greater than the manager. And it's arguably greater than the players. The players are a result of 6 years of bad management from above. No direction. I was going to say bad direction. No direction. Haphazard. Chop and change. This type of player, this type of manager. That type of player, that type of manager. And until we address that, and I feel like I'm repeating myself, until we address that, we're going to be in the same position. Whether it's 12th, whether it's 10th, whether it's 7th, we're still going to be calling for the manager's head because we rather look at the symptom of the problem. We look at the result, who manages the team, get rid. We look at the result, who got the result, get rid, the players. So the players and the managers, the players and the managers. At what point do we say, who's actually bringing these managers in? 4 managers, 4 failures. At what point do we look at this? As I said, Oli will go. If the results carry on like this, before Christmas, a new manager will be at Manchester United. Whether you're Oli in, you're Oli out, ain't going to make a difference. Ed Woodward ain't looking at you because people were Jose out before Jose was sacked. Ed Woodward will make his decision. But do you trust him to make the right decision on what happens next? It's been a year, nearly a year since Jose been sacked, and we still are no closer to getting a sporting director. But it's Oli you want to turn on. Again, I ain't saying Oli's the answer. But are we even asking the right questions? Every dog has his day. I grew up Man United on top. Everything was rosy. Bar a year here, a year there. And it's going to take a long, long time for us to have our day again. But if you think that sacking Oli and bringing in Allegri or bringing in Pochettino or bringing in, God knows, all the names, different names come out every year. Jardim was the flavour of the month a year ago, and I don't even hear his name anymore. If you think bringing those guys is gonna get us back to what you think is acceptable, now I ain't saying they won't do better than Solskjaer. I think they will. They're better managers. They've been proven that they're better managers in their careers. But as we've seen, that ain't good enough. It ain't good enough for us. It ain't good enough for you. Jose, as I said, was 6th when we were calling for his head. 19 points off the top. Van Gaal finished 5th. Won the FA Cup. Missed out on Champions League on goal difference. And fans were delighted that he was sacked in favour of Jose Mourinho. David Moyes was 7th. 10 months into his 6-year contract. Banners were flown across the stadium saying Moyes out. Fans were delighted that he was sacked. So don't come and tell me that a better manager is what we need. Oli needs to go. Because in 12 months, you're going to be calling for the head again. We can get a better manager. We can maybe finish in the Europa League positions at best. Possibly win the Europa League. But that ain't going to solve our problems. And I guarantee you that in 12 months' time, I'm going to be having exactly the same conversation with all of you. If things don't change at the top. 1-0 Newcastle.